I was once the most dazzling prodigy of my sect. Yet a letter from my family terrified me to the core. It mentioned that in a small border town, I actually had a wife married into the family. She was a prodigy of a small family. But one day, she suddenly lost all her cultivation. She carried a mysterious ring. The family elders thought she was unworthy of me and wanted me to go immediately to annul the engagement. But inside, I was in utter panic from reading novels in my past life. Such scenarios of villains getting humiliated during engagement annulment were all too common. Imagining my fiancé publicly declaring, 30 years on the east side of the river, 30 years on the west, made me feel dizzy. I had thought about taking preemptive action before she could rise by getting rid of her first. But the protagonist's aura is too terrifying. Just think of Wang Tang, who had the demeanor of an emperor, and whose background was top tier, yet still couldn't withstand the torment. So after discovering that my little wife had the protagonist template, I secretly sent people to Mingu City to gather information. My little wife's name was Liu Mingu. She was born with fair skin, beautiful, and naturally charming. Since losing her cultivation, the entire Liu family's attitude towards her plummeted. If it weren't for her engagement to my Yi family, she would have been kicked out long ago. In such circumstances, my little wife must be extremely lacking in affection and deeply yearning for others' approval and encouragement. Finding this breakthrough, I decisively went against the family's will. Not only did I not annul the engagement, but I wrote a heartfelt letter, having it delivered overnight to Mingu City to encourage her not to lose hope. Furthermore, I prepared a storage ring filled with various rare herbs and precious pills, and repeatedly emphasized in the letter that I would never annul the engagement, reassuring her to focus on her cultivation. I hoped that through all this, my little wife would feel my sincerity. After her cheat ability awakens, I hope she won't treat me as a random monster to be slain. At this moment, my will to survive is overwhelming. Just as I was racking my brain, thinking about how to endure the upcoming ordeal, a strange disturbance suddenly echoed deep in my mind. Gain favor from Liu Mingu. Destiny points +1. I was utterly confused. What on earth was that? Let's rewind to half an incense stick of time earlier. In Mingu City, USA, Liu Mingu knelt despondently in the family hall. Next to her were the Liu family head, the elders, and the younger generation of the Liu family. 10 years have passed. This waste who squandered the family's resources can finally get lost. If it weren't for the marriage contract with the Yi family, this useless person would have been kicked out of the family long ago. How could they waste 10 years of the family's cultivation resources on her? Listening to the endless mockery around her, Liu Mingyu's eyes were filled with desolation. 10 years ago, she was the brightest genius of the Liu family. Who would dare bark in front of her back then? The elders even treated her as a treasured gem and signed a marriage contract with the Yi family. But shortly after the contract was signed, Liu Mingyu's talent suddenly seemed to vanish. Without her talent, she couldn't advance in martial arts, and even her original cultivation began to decline. Eventually, she became an outright waste. Everyone, don't be so harsh. Sister Yue isn't entirely useless. At least when she first started cultivating, she amazed everyone. It was Liu Mingyu's cousin, Liu Xinlin, speaking. With a face full of excitement, she whispered in Liu Mingyu's ear, "Are you scared? The Yi family is about to annul the engagement. Without your last protection, how will you live your life from now on?" As Liu Xinlin finished speaking, a hidden hint of hatred flashed in her eyes. If Liu Xinlin had been the one chosen for the family marriage, perhaps the Yi family wouldn't be sending someone to annul the engagement today. Liu Xinlin's fingers curled into a tight fist. After all, that was the top sect in the southern wilderness. The Zhuanshan sect's candidate for the young sect master. Even a prince would pale in comparison before him. An 18-year-old 9-star great martial master. A rare genius in the entire southern wilderness. just advancing from the chessy stage to the Zhuan Bone stage martial spirit. Took Liu Xinlin 10 years of cultivation, yet even so, she was only a 3-star martial spirit. In the same 10 years, I had already crossed the stages of martial artist, martial spirit, and martial master, becoming a 9-star great martial master at the suspension realm. Just one step away from becoming a martial Dao grandmother. There are fewer than 10 martial Dao grandmasters in all of the United States. Liu Mingyu. All because of you that I missed out. Such a perfect destiny was lost. Liu Xinlin seemed to have been robbed of a great opportunity in life. Her eyes filled with intense hatred. Though the Liu family members present remained silent, their gazes were filled with venomous resentment towards Liu Mingyu. The Liu family's ancestors had, due to an old friendship with the Yi family ancestors, arranged the marriage contract. In Liu Mingyu's generation, the one signing the marriage contract was a dragon among men like me. If they could have formed an alliance with the Zhuanshan Sect's young Sect master, in the future, the Liu family wouldn't just dominate the small Muyun city, but would also be a formidable presence across the entire Zhang country. Yet, because of Liu Mingyu, they lost this heaven-sent opportunity. You are the sinner of the entire Liu family. It's because of this waste that our whole family is burdened. The Liu family should have had a brighter future. Liu Mingyu, your sins are unforgivable even in death. Facing the fervent clan members, Liu Mingyu's eyes were filled with disappointment. A few days ago, she might have felt utterly hopeless about the Yi family annulling the engagement, but now she did not. As if sensing the change within Liu Mingyu, the seemingly ordinary mysterious ring on her finger glimmered faintly. You need not be discouraged, said the mysterious woman within the ring. With my divine blood's power cleansing your body, your rise is only a matter of time. The mysterious woman in the ring conveyed this through a mental message. Though the Zhuanshan sect is a top-tier sect in the southern wilderness, with the mighty Zhuanshan divine Dao backing it, the origin of the mysterious woman in Liu Mingyu's ring was equally extraordinary. She was once a peerless expert from the upper realm, but fell due to an accident. Her spirit now resided within Liu Mingyu's ring. Liu Mingyu's previous decline in cultivation was also because of the woman in the ring. The woman felt deeply guilty about this. To make amends, she not only took Liu Mingyu as her disciple, but also cleansed her body with divine blood. The complete cleansing of your body with divine blood will be finished in 3 days. As long as you endure these 3 days, your talent will become extraordinary in this realm. Extraordinary? Even more powerful than the Zhuanshan sect? Although Liu Mingyu and I have never met, I have always been someone who all the geniuses in the United States look up to. What does she count for? If you can fully integrate the divine blood's power, even all the geniuses in this realm combined wouldn't be worth a single finger of yours. The mysterious woman sneered. Liu Mingyu was stunned. At that moment, a powerful light shadow descended from the sky. From the light shadow, a middle-aged man slowly emerged. The man's name was Yishu, my personal attendant. Letter from the young master. To Liu Mingyu. Yishu's gaze was indifferent. The Yi family is a powerful clan, on par with the royal family in the United States. If I hadn't personally ordered it, someone with Yishu's cultivation at the suspension realm would never bother to come to a small place like Muyun City. So powerful was Liu Mingyu's first reaction upon facing Yishu. The overwhelming aura emanating from Yishu, even without being deliberately released, made everyone present feel like ants facing an elephant, suffocating them. Such powerful cultivation could easily sweep through all of Muyun City. Even in the entire United States, he would be a formidable force. Yet such an expert was merely a messenger for the Yi family. The stronger the Yi family's display of power, the more intense the hatred the Liu family members felt towards Liu Mingyu. The Yi family's respected emissary personally delivers the letter. Sister Yue, you should open it quickly. What if it's not about annulling the engagement, but encouraging you to cultivate diligently? Sensing the anger of the surrounding clan members, Liu Xinlin seized the opportunity to fan the flames. Yishu's expression changed slightly after hearing this. A few days ago, I suddenly sent Yishu to Muyun City to investigate Liu Mingyu's situation. He had assumed I wanted to sever ties with Liu Mingyu. But to his surprise, it was the complete opposite. Catching the change in Yishu's expression, Liu Xinlin was elated. It seemed her words had hit the Yi family's sore spot. A personal disciple of the Zhuangzhen sect and a candidate for young sect master. How could he truly marry a waste like Liu Mingyu? Not to mention marrying her. Even the rumor would be too shameful. Liu Mingyu slowly raised her head, still hesitant. But thinking of her mysterious master, she gathered the courage to tear open the envelope. To her surprise, the next moment, a storage ring rolled out from the envelope. The ring's material was unique, clearly extraordinary. Seeing this, the eyes of the surrounding Liu family members turned green with envy. Could it be compensation for the annulment? The Yi family is a great clan of the current era. The compensation they provide would certainly be substantial. How could a mere waste like Liu Mingyu have the right to such a wealth of heavenly materials and treasures? In my opinion, these should all be contributed to the family. The family has supported her for so many years. It's time for her to repay the kindness. If not for Yishu still standing there, the envious Liu family members would have rushed forward to seize the ring. Don't just stand there, open it. Though the ring's meaning might be humiliating, if you can find 1 or 2 valuable herbs inside, it might accelerate the divine blood cleansing and boost your cultivation. The mysterious woman urged through her mental transmission. Though she was a powerful figure from the upper realm, she was now merely a remnant soul. Even with a few trump cards up her sleeve, she couldn't easily reveal them unless it was a critical moment. Hearing the mysterious woman's words, Liu Mingyu obediently opened the storage ring in her hand. The next moment, a crimson spiritual light shot up into the sky. Blood Python branch. It was the blood python branch that could reconnect severed meridians. Blood jade bone ginseng. Ginseng that helps the chassis transform and condense into Zhuan bone. Ironwood elixir. Heavens! That's an excellent spiritual medicine for refining 3rd grade pills. And there was also the coxcomb phoenix tail flower. The Liu family members present were all on the verge of madness. Liu Mingyu herself was stunned. Even the elders of the Liu family, upon seeing the compensation in the storage ring, couldn't help but reveal expressions of greed. Liu Mingyu instinctively covered the ring. She had only opened a corner of the ring, and so many valuable items had already emerged. She feared that if she continued, the elders wouldn't be able to resist rushing forward to snatch everything. Amidst her worries, Liu Mingyu's heart also harbored a strong sense of bewilderment. An annulment, that's all. Even if there is some compensation, it's usually just a matter of saving face for both parties. Why would they send such valuable treasures? Liu Mingyu had just sneaked a glance deeper into the ring, and besides the various spiritual herbs, there were several profound cultivation techniques, and their grades were not low, far more precious than the spiritual herbs. Why would they send so many treasures just to annul an engagement? Filled with doubt, Liu Mingyu quickly opened the letter in her hand, but what she read left her stunned once again. What's the matter? Did he intentionally insult you in the letter? How infuriating! Rest assured, once I recover a bit more, I will definitely go to the Zhuangzhen sect to seek justice for you. No! It's not like that, master. Liu Mingyu's cheeks flushed slightly, though she had never met her fiancé, and had once harbored resistance towards this family-arranged marriage. But the moment she opened the letter, Liu Mingyu's heart couldn't help but ripple with emotion. She even thought I was quite a good person. Liu Mingyu's strange reaction piqued the mysterious woman's curiosity. She used her recently recovered power to sense the contents of the letter. Both of them were stunned. Not only did I not disdain Liu Mingyu for her lost cultivation, but I also encouraged and cheered her on in the letter, especially the last line in the letter. Even if you are a mere mortal, I will protect you for a lifetime without worrying. The mysterious woman didn't expect that in the treacherous world of cultivation, there would be someone who so faithfully kept his promises. Today is truly an eye-opener, she thought. Sister Yue, are you the contents of the letter? If you don't dare read it out loud, then let me, your cousin, do it for you. Liu Xinlin's jealousy had peaked the moment the storage ring was opened. Why does she still receive such favor even after the engagement is annulled? She snatched the letter from Liu Mingyu's hand and read aloud. The engagement is set. You are my wife and I will protect you. After I pass the life and death trial, I will rebuild your chassis and dantian and protect you for a lifetime. As Liu Xinlin read halfway, her expression grew stiff. Everyone was shocked. How can this be? Isn't the letter from the Yi family meant to annul the engagement? Why would they still protect Liu Mingyu, who was already a waste? Could this be true love? The words true love sounded particularly grating to Liu Xinlin's ears. But the Liu family members present had no time to pay attention to her. Who would have thought that young Master Yi is so faithful to his promises? Sister Mingyu, you are truly blessed. We were wrong earlier. Please be magnanimous and don't hold it against us. Cousin, do you remember me? I'm Zi Liuzi. When we were young, my mother even held you. Cousin Mingyu, I was blind with foolishness before. From now on, I will be your most loyal follower. Anyone who dares to speak ill of you, I'll break their bones. Impossible. Liu Xinlin suddenly went mad, her face full of disbelief. She had come today to laugh at Liu Mingyu, but now she herself was the joke, especially when she noticed the increasingly distant gazes from the surrounding clan members. Liu Xinlin went even crazier. Looking at the frantic Liu Xinlin before them, the clan members' eyes were filled with pity. You are not even a member of the Yi family. Why do you falsely deliver letters to deceive me and the Liu family? 301. Sister Mingyu, you are truly blessed. We were wrong earlier. Please be magnanimous and don't hold it against us. Cousin, do you remember me? I'm Zi Liuzi. When we were young, my mother even held you. Cousin Mingyu, I was blind with foolishness before. From now on, I will be your most loyal follower. Anyone who dares to speak ill of you, I'll break their bones. Impossible. Liu Xinlin suddenly went mad, her face full of disbelief. She had come today to laugh at Liu Mingyu, but now she herself was the joke, especially when she noticed the increasingly distant gazes from the surrounding clan members. Liu Xinlin went even crazier. Looking at the frantic Liu Xinlin before them, the clan members' eyes were filled with pity. You are not even a member of the Yi family. Why do you falsely deliver letters to deceive me and the Liu family? Liu Xinlin actually shouted directly at the Yi family envoy. The scene frightened the Liu family head greatly. In an instant, he flashed in front of Liu Xinlin and slapped her hard, interrupting her madness. Have you lost your mind enough? Although Yishu had not displayed his power, his aura spoke volumes. If they angered him, the entire Liu family couldn't bear the consequences of his wrath. Lying on the ground, Liu Xinlin spat blood, her face twisted in agony. The Liu family head shook his head, and with a swift palm strike to Liu Xinlin's chassis and dantian, he abolished her cultivation. Family head, how ruthless you are! At that moment, Liu Xinlin finally understood the desolation Liu Mingyu had felt before, but it was too late. My single letter had lifted Liu Mingyu from the depths of despair to the heights of glory. The entire Liu family now needed a target for Mingyu to vent her dissatisfaction. Although Liu Xinlin was a standout among the younger generation of the Liu family, compared to the Yi family, and compared to the Zhuanshan sect, her significance was still too minor. Unfortunately, the family head's tactics didn't affect Liu Mingyu at all. After 10 years of being treated as a waste, she had seen through people's hearts. Now she only wanted, with the help of the mysterious woman, to complete the divine blood-body transformation as soon as possible and pursue the martial path that had been severed for many years. Zhuanshan Sect. Feeling the constantly increasing destiny, I suddenly awakened. It turned out that my little wife was my golden finger. although I didn't understand what this so-called destiny was. From the moment it appeared, I could clearly feel a surging and powerful force gradually brewing within me, ready to erupt. The changes in my body instantly caught the attention of others in the sect. What's going on? Why does it feel like the spiritual energy around senior brother is becoming strange? Could it be another breakthrough? I remember senior brother just had a breakthrough not long ago. How can he have new insights so quickly? I ignored their exclamations, completely immersed in the baptism of the destiny energy. In just a short while, the destiny energy within me had already condensed into a golden sphere. Beneath the sphere, countless golden treasure chests and a long pointer emerged. Is this a lottery? I've never eaten pork, but I've seen pigs run. In my previous life, I had seen all sorts of strange golden fingers on the internet. There were even those that collected negative emotions. And mine seems to collect my little wife's. Affection seems understandable. According to the notes, 100 points of destiny are needed to draw a reward once. And now I had already gathered over 200 points. I immediately went for a double draw. At that moment, a disciple of the Zhuanshan sect rushed over to me. Senior brother, the sect master has come out of seclusion and is discussing matters with the elders in the main hall. He asks for your presence. The sect master summoning me must mean something important. Otherwise, I would have tried this golden finger to see what rewards it could draw. Shortly after, I arrived at the entrance of the Howren Longevity Hall. The Zhuanshan sect has produced only 3 personal disciples in a century, and I am the only one currently among them. Also the youngest of the 3. Being a personal disciple is the highest honor in the Zhuanshan sect, but once reaching a certain level of strength, they often seek their own ways to break through. The sect does not deliberately restrain us. The other two left the sect to seek breakthrough opportunities on their own, and haven't been heard from for 10 years. I, on the other hand, have been diligently cultivating within the sect. I do not wish to leave the sect, besides not encountering any bottlenecks in my cultivation. There is another important reason. This is a world of fantasy. Even though my cultivation is considered top among the younger generation of the Zhuanshan sect, and I am a formidable figure in the United States, there are always greater mountains and stronger people. The fantasy world is incredibly dangerous. Staying in the sect means I have the protection of the sect master and the reclusive elders, greatly increasing my safety. But now the sect master has heard about my marriage agreement with a small family in Yun City. Once I become the young sect master of the Zhuanshan sect, my marriage will no longer be a personal matter. It concerns the entire reputation of the Zhuanshan sect. At this moment, the sect master's voice echoed from within the hall. Elder Zhuan Jin, tomorrow accompany him to Yun City to annul the engagement publicly. This will help him focus on the upcoming life and death trial. Hearing this from the doorway, my expression changed dramatically. I had just managed to stabilize the situation with my little wife. If the Zhuanshan sect insists on this, not only would my newly awakened golden finger become useless, but I would likely become a negative example in no time. I quickly strode into the longevity hall and spoke out. Sect master, this must not happen. The elders present were all taken aback by my words. Elder Zhuanjin immediately responded. The sect master wants you to go to Yun City to annul the engagement for your own good. Given your status, let alone a mere waste girl from a small family, even a princess of the United States would be beneath you. You don't need to concern yourself with this matter. We, your elders, will make the decision for you. That's right. If you feel guilty, we can simply offer more compensation in the form of cultivation techniques and spiritual medicines when annulling the engagement. I'm sure the family in a small place like Yun City would be very pleased with that. Listening to the elders, I felt like crying. While normal thinking would assume that a mere marriage contract would not be binding, and that reasonable compensation would suffice. The protagonist's logic is not something ordinary people can understand. They wouldn't see a negligible marriage contract as a fair trade for spiritual medicines and techniques. Instead, they would feel insulted. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but imagine 10 different scenarios where my little wife brutally kills me. My overwhelming desire to survive made me disregard the propriety of contradicting the sect master and the elders in the hall. Since the engagement is set, I am not someone who starts and then abandons relationships. I appreciate the goodwill of the sect master and the elders, but I cannot comply with the annulment. The sect master and the elders in the hall thought they had misheard me. Their eyes widened like copper bells. To be so devoted to a waste girl from a small family, even if she has extraordinary beauty, it's not worth such obsession. The sect master's eyes held a hint of anger as he spoke to me. On the path of cultivation, you must not be swayed by emotions. With your talent, you can choose from all kinds of saints and divine maidens in the future. Why fixate on a waste girl from a small family? Sorry, sect master. My mind is made up. My response was firm. Elder Zhuanjin's decision is for your own good. You'd better think it over carefully. If not for the Zhuanjin sect, regardless of your talent, you wouldn't have achieved what you have today. Don't forget, you are not the only personal disciple of the Zhuanjin sect. You must make your decision clear here in this hall, in front of everyone. The elders collectively expressed their anger. However, at that moment, my previously calm mind suddenly trembled slightly once more. Yu Mingyu's favor increased again. Destiny points +5. +5. Instantly, the destiny points on the golden sphere surged past 300. Whoa! I was so shocked that I almost swore out loud. Suppressing my excitement, I quietly activated the pointer on the golden sphere, eager to draw a reward. As I touched the golden sphere, 100 destiny points were deducted. At the same time, four large colorful banners erupted. Thank you for your participation. The veins on my forehead throbbed twice. I couldn't believe that even after being reborn into a fantasy world, I could still encounter such infuriating and blood pressure-raising nonsense. The elders were already displeased with my previous defiance, and now, seeing my obviously annoyed expression, their tempers flared up instantly. Even the sect master's face turned completely dark. But as angry as they were with me, I was even more frustrated. All my 18 years of effort, and I ended up with such a worthless reward. Without any hesitation, I spun the lottery pointer again. This time, it was even worse. It came up empty. At that moment, I suddenly felt like giving up on the golden finger. Since you so blatantly defy your elders, don't blame the sect for showing no mercy. After all, you are just a personal disciple, neglecting the Zhuanjin sect's years of devoted nurturing. The elders snorted coldly. Even the sect master spoke to me in utter disappointment. I have already given you a chance. Since you are so determined, then ... Just as he was to finish, a sudden burst of golden light shot up from within me. This light was dazzling and carried immense divine power. The divine bone. The divine bone has awakened. The sect master stared at me intently, and the surrounding elders, who had been criticizing me, were all stunned. Could the legend be true? It was rumored that the Yi family inherited the bloodline of divine beings from the upper realms. The Yi family, as bearers of the divine bloodline, once produced many outstanding figures, but later these strong individuals had their divine bones cursed and withered away. Since then, no upper realm beings had appeared again. During that era, such extraordinary beings were forced to migrate from the central spirit realm, gradually becoming equals with mortal kingdoms. I was initially chosen by the sect master of Zhuanjin sect, because a trace of divine brilliance appeared in my bones during my breakthrough to the Zhuan bone stage. Though my cultivation advanced rapidly after joining Zhuanjin sect, the divine bone's characteristics never manifested. Could today be the day of its complete awakening? The sect master's hands trembled slightly as he gripped his chair. Even I hadn't expected that my last desperate draw would yield. A great Tao fruit capable of awakening my divine bone. Bursts of golden light spread like a web across my body. And finally, even my bones turned a faint gold, void-shattering realm. I have broken through to the martial grandmother level. Is this the power of the divine bone? Sensing the terrifying energy changes around me, the elders in the hall almost held their breath. Some of them had spent their entire lives cultivating only to reach the void-shattering realm. Yet I had just awakened my divine bone and immediately broke through to the void-shattering realm. A god-initiated being. Who would have thought that after so many years, our Zhuanshan sect would produce another god-initiated being? A god-initiated being is the term for someone who awakens the divine bone in this world. The elders, gradually realizing what had happened, were expressions of deep complexity. My existence was now beyond that of a mere personal disciple. Even within the Zhuanshan Divine Tao, it would warrant significant attention. Since you do not wish to annul the engagement, we will not force you. After all, it is ultimately your personal matter. We, as your mentors and elders, we were just a bit anxious for your sake. The sect master suddenly became kind and amiable. Even the elders who had initially opposed the idea became understanding and reasonable. Your fiancé may have a low status and poor cultivation, but as long as you like each other, that's what matters. Affairs of the heart don't always follow logic. We are gratified to see you remain true to yourself. The sect master then decisively announced, the life and death trial will be set for half a month from now. Since you've just broken through to the martial grandmother level, you need to stabilize your cultivation. I'll have someone send you some spiritual medicines for stabilizing your realm. Just focus on resting and preparing for the trial. Becoming a god-initiated being means that in the future, I will be highly valued in the Zhuanshan Divine Tao. The Zhuanshan sect wouldn't risk narrowing their path over a mere marriage issue. Thank you, sect master and elders, I said with a faint smile. Although this golden finger is somewhat unreliable, at least it proved useful at a critical moment. The sect master of Zhuanshan sect watched my departing figure deep in thought. A few days ago, a divine decree suddenly descended from the Zhuanshan Divine Tao, instructing all branches scattered across the 4 wilderness regions to select their most promising personal disciples to go to the Zhuanshan Divine Tao for further training. It had been a long time since the Zhuanshan Divine Tao opened the qualifications for training in the Central Spirit Realm. Although the sect master of Zhuanshan sect didn't know why such a decree was suddenly issued for the Zhuanshan sect, it was undoubtedly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Back at my residence, I immediately continued writing a letter. The golden finger has successfully awakened. My little wife is quite receptive to my sweet words. Now was the time to seize the opportunity and strike while the iron was hot. Just as I finished writing the letter, Yishu returned from Yun City. Seeing the letter in my hand, a strange expression suddenly appeared on Yishu's face. He had been holding back some words for a long time, but due to our master-servant relationship, he had kept them to himself. However, seeing my infatuation with Lu Mingyu, Yishu felt it was necessary to speak up and advise me. Young master, though Lu Mingyu possesses exceptional beauty, in the cultivation world where power is paramount, appearance is just an added value. As long as you have enough strength, you can find any stunning beauty you desire in the future. Why go against the wishes of the elders? Even if you don't care about the elders' opinions, what about the Zhuanshan sect? Do you think the sect master and the elders would truly support you marrying someone so mismatched in status? Before he could finish, I interrupted. I have awakened the divine bone. These 6 simple words resonated deeply in Yishu's ears. ... like a thunderbolt striking directly. The next moment, golden divine light outlined the patterns across my entire skeleton. Feeling the immense power contained within the divine bone, Yishu finally grasped the reality. Waves of excitement and exhilaration erupted in Yishu's eyes. He knew better than anyone what it meant to be a god-initiated being with an awakened divine bone, especially as someone from the divine bloodline of the Yi family. Do I now have the right to decide my own marriage? My calm words sounded like divine decrees to Yishu. Yes, yes, of course. As long as the young master wishes it. I instructed. Take this letter to Mu Yun City and personally deliver it to Liu Mingyu. Yishu, who had been brimming with excitement just moments before, now wore a gradually more peculiar expression upon hearing this. He, a dignified 7-star great martial master, a formidable figure even in the United States, had now become a mere messenger for two young lovers exchanging letters in Mu Yun City at the Liu family estate. With the various rare herbs and precious medicines I provided, Liu Mingyu's divine blood cleansing process accelerated exponentially. The next moment, Liu Mingyu finally broke through her barriers. The surrounding spiritual energy rapidly swirled into a vortex around her. At first, it was confined to Liu Mingyu's room. Soon, the phenomenon spread to the sky over the entire Mu Yun City. What is going on? Why is all the spiritual energy in Mu Yun City converging above the Liu family estate? Who is causing this celestial phenomenon? As they watched the ever-growing spiritual energy vortex, the martial artists of Mu Yun City were astonished. The Liu family members were even more bewildered, staring in disbelief at the direction of the swirling spiritual energy. It seems to be coming from Liu Mingyu's courtyard. The head of the Liu family and the elders hurried over, each showing a look of surprise. Liu Mingyu? Wasn't she a waste? How could she cause such a terrifying celestial phenomenon to draw such a massive spiritual energy? Vortex must be the work of an extraordinary genius. Clearly, Liu Mingyu did not fit that description. Could there be someone else cultivating in her room? The elders gathered outside Liu Mingyu's room pondered. Could it be young Master Yi? One elder suddenly suggested. The head of the Liu family was struck by a thought. Yesterday, my strong stance in the letter backing Liu Mingyu led many Liu family members to speculate that we had already developed feelings in private. Hearing the elder's suggestion now, and linking it to the celestial phenomenon above the family estate, the head of the Liu family began to believe the speculations might not be groundless. Once such a thought took root, many things started to make sense in their minds. No wonder young Master Yi is indeed a peerless prodigy, a candidate for the Zhuanshan sect's young sect master. To casually cause such a celestial phenomenon of spiritual energy, truly his talent is boundless. Our Liu family is indeed fortunate to have such an exceptional son-in-law. Their flattery was overwhelming, completely unaware that at this moment, powerful forces within Mu Yun City had already locked onto the Liu family. A small place like Mu Yun City having such a prodigy is truly rare. At the entrance of a certain tavern, an old man's murky eyes suddenly shone brightly. Meanwhile, outside Mu Yun City, a middle-aged man with a sword on his back looked on indifferently. He glanced at the spiritual energy vortex above Mu Yun City. A celestial phenomenon like this must be caused by an extraordinary genius. This is a great fortune for our Yushin sword sect. As soon as he finished speaking, he turned into a streak of sword light and disappeared from sight. Outside Liu Mingyu's room, the head of the Liu family and several elders stood anxiously at the door. To avoid disturbing the process, the family head had ordered that aside from the elders and himself, no one else was to approach Liu Mingyu's courtyard. Time passed by slowly, as the spiritual energy above Liu Mingyu's courtyard gradually began to calm down. The Liu family head and the surrounding elders all perked up. With a creak, the door opened and Liu Mingyu stepped out. The family head looked expectantly, as if waiting for something. But after a long wait, they still did not see me. Where is he? Who? Liu Mingyu asked calmly. Wasn't he in your room? The celestial phenomenon just now should have been caused by him, right? The Liu family head's words caused Liu Mingyu's eyebrows to knit together. So in the eyes of the Liu family, she was just a mascot to provide convenience to the family through the engagement? At that moment, a streak of light suddenly descended from the sky. It was Yishu, who had come to deliver a letter. He spoke calmly. Congratulations, Miss Mingu, on successfully breaking through and causing such a celestial phenomenon. However, inside, Yishu was deeply shocked. The young master's foresight is truly remarkable. In less than a day, Liu Mingyu has caused such a terrifying celestial phenomenon. This level of phenomenon is almost comparable to that of the young master before he awakened his divine bone. Clearly, the young master had already seen the mystery in this girl. The Liu family head and the elders stood dumbfounded by Yishu's congratulatory words. What does this mean? Was Liu Mingyu the one who caused the celestial phenomenon? The Liu family head found it difficult to accept this reality. Liu Mingyu looked at Yishu and asked, "Respected emissary, have you returned for the matter from yesterday?" After Yishu left yesterday, Liu Mingyu calmed down and thought a lot. She realized that she had never met me, and my assistance could only mean that I am naturally faithful and keep my promises, not because of who Liu Mingyu was. Understanding this, Liu Mingyu was no longer as impulsive as before. Even if someone values promises and wants to help, the difference in our statuses is too vast. Even though Liu Mingyu's cultivation has been restored, I am still the most dazzling genius of the Yi family, and a candidate for the young sect master of Zhuanshan sect. Neither the Yi family nor Zhuanshan sect would permit me to marry someone with such low status and strength as Liu Mingyu. So Liu Mingyu spoke up. "This is the storage ring he gave me yesterday. I have refined a few of the great medicines inside. Once my cultivation is successful, I will return it to him. As for the engagement ... Before she could finish, the ring was pushed back by Yishu. Seemingly understanding Liu Mingyu. What? The Yi family and Zhuanshan sect agreed? Liu Mingyu was astonished. The young master has awakened his divine bone, and will soon enter the life and death trial. This is a cultivation insight he asked me to pass on to you. I hope it will be of some help to you." Staring at the letter Yishu handed over, Liu Mingyu was completely stunned. No wonder the Zhuanshan sect and the Yi family were so lenient. A god-initiated being could break most conventions in this world, even within the Yi family and the Zhuanshan sect. However, it was Yishu's latter words that touched Liu Mingyu more deeply. She had thought I couldn't withstand the pressure from the Yi family and the Zhuanshan sect, and had sent someone to retrieve the ring and annul the engagement. But who would have thought that I sent cultivation insights instead? She had just undergone the divine blood cleansing and broken through. It was the perfect time to stabilize her cultivation. My insights were a godsend for her. Even though Liu Mingyu had thought things through clearly yesterday, she couldn't help but feel a tremor in her heart. Your fiancé is quite something. Even the mysterious woman, who rarely spoke, remarked from within the ring. Liu Mingyu felt her heart burn like never before. These insights are indeed very beneficial to me. Please thank young Master Yi on my behalf when you return. Since I have delivered the letter, I shall take my leave. Yishu said, turning to leave. The Liu family elders, one by one, felt deeply embarrassed, wishing they could find a hole to crawl into. They had mistaken the celestial phenomenon caused by Liu Mingyu's breakthrough for the presence of young Master Yi. Just as the Liu family head was about to speak to ease the awkwardness, Liu Mingyu suddenly spoke up. "The Liu family has supported me for 10 years, but during this time, you also used my engagement with the Yi family to acquire many mining resources in Mu Yun City. Ming girl, we are all one family. Why tally the accounts so clearly? Yes. What's the family's is yours. If you wish, tomorrow we will have half of the family's treasures delivered to you." The elders, desperate to win Liu Mingyu over, offered generously. But the next moment, Liu Mingyu bit her finger and drew a bloodline in the air. From today onwards, Liu Mingyu sever all ties with the Liu family. From now on, everything of the Liu family has nothing to do with me. And I have nothing to do with you. As soon as these words were spoken, the Liu family head and the elders were struck as if by lightning, their faces changing dramatically. Without Liu Mingyu and the engagement with the Yi family, How could the Liu family continue to enjoy various privileges in Muyan City? Moreover, today's phenomenon proved her terrifying talent. If she were willing to serve the family, the Liu family might still have a chance to become a powerful clan like the Yi family. The Liu family head wanted to plead, but just then, a powerful sword light descended from the sky. A middle-aged man slowly walked out of the sword light. I am Xianming, the head of the Yushin Sword Sect. Would you be willing to join the Yushin Sword Sect and become my disciple? Xianming's words hit the Liu family head like a thunderbolt, setting his insides on fire. The Yushin Sword Sect was the foremost sect in Zhang country. Its leader was one of the top 10 grandmasters in the United States. For him to personally come to the Liu family to accept a disciple was an honor beyond compare, although it didn't match the weight of an engagement with the Yi family. In Zhang country, it was enough to intimidate all petty threats. The Liu family elders were frantic, their faces flushed. The more outstanding Liu Mingyu appeared, the more anxious they became. Such an extraordinary prodigy. How could they let her leave the family easily? As the Liu family head was desperately thinking of how to win back Liu Mingyu, a chicken bone suddenly flew through the air and struck the sword light of the Yushin Sword Sect leader. Instantly, the sword light shattered, filling the entire Liu family compound with fragments. The entire area was shrouded in a powerful and terrifying pressure. You're as impatient as ever. The speaker was a scruffy old man, Red Sky Elder. Even in taking disciples, must you compete with me? Xianming, the sword leader of Yushin, held his sword, looking ready to fight at any moment. Red Sky Elder grinned, seemingly unafraid of the Yushin Sword Sect, feeling the overwhelming aura emanating from both sides. The Liu family head and the elders were nearly scared out of their wits. All three were among the top 10 grandmasters in the United States. If they fought above the Liu family, the entire Muyan city might be destroyed along with them. Just as the confrontation was about to erupt, a black ruler descended from the sky, forcing both figures back 100 meters. Who dares to offend the Yushin Sword Sect? Do you understand the consequences? Xianming coldly snorted. The Yushin Sword Sect may be significant in the United States, but in the broader southern wilderness, it's nothing. A mysterious voice echoed from midair, causing Xianming's face to flush red with anger. But the truth in the statement couldn't be denied. Zhang country was just one of many mortal nations in the southern wilderness, and compared to the superpowers in the region, the Yushin Sword Sect's foundation was indeed insignificant. Who exactly are you? Xianming's face turned icy, but his tone had lost its former arrogance. You're not qualified to ask my name. Even the old monster of the United States royal family would have to scurry away if he saw me. Hearing this, Xianming's face changed completely. Among the top 10 grandmasters, the old guy from Zhang country's royal family is number 1. The others have to line up behind him. It's because of his presence that the United States has remained unshaken all these years. That old man from the royal family has 1 foot already in the martial king realm. Once he becomes a martial king, he'll be a formidable force not just in the United States, but across the southern wilderness. Enough with the nonsense. The owner of the mysterious voice clearly had no interest in idle talk. A giant hand formed from a phantom shadow began to materialize. It seemed as though the entire world was turning into a prison in his grasp, controlling the heavens and the earth. A martial king in the void realm. Xianming was horrified. Run! Red Sky Elder broke into a cold sweat. The three turned and fled, not daring to linger. Witnessing this, the Liu family head was left in shock, his jaw nearly dropping. A martial king in the void realm. They could hardly believe such a powerful figure would appear in the small Muyan city. Before they could understand what was happening, a figure appeared out of nowhere, standing beside Liu Mingyu. Those two martial grandmasters are unworthy of your talents. My name is Fanshin. Would you like to become my student and join Xingdu Academy? His light words left the Liu family head and the elders completely stunned. Xingdu Academy is renowned in the southern wilderness, on par with the Zhuanshan sect. The phenomenon caused by Liu Mingyu had attracted many martial artists to the area. Hearing that this mysterious powerhouse was from Xingdu Academy, their faces were filled with astonishment. For Xingdu Academy to personally come and recruit a disciple, this is the Liu family's fortune. Fortune? Nonsense! Didn't you hear Mingu say she's leaving the family? Who would have thought that the once dormant waste girl of Mu Yun City would rise to such prominence today? Ignoring the envious and jealous gazes around her, Liu Mingyu looked at Fanshan calmly and asked, "Do you value my talent? Or the Zhuanshan divine Tao behind young Master Yi?" Liu Mingyu's words made the Liu family elders' faces change drastically. This person was a martial king from Xingdu Academy. If angered, not just the Liu family, but even the entire United States could suffer. The Liu family had desperately signaled Liu Mingyu, but she remained unmoved. Fanshan, however, seemed slightly embarrassed by her direct question. He had indeed come not only because of the celestial phenomenon Liu Mingyu caused. Although Xingdu Academy is a superpower, comparable to Zhuanshan Sect in the southern wilderness, they lack the terrifying backing of something like the Zhuanshan Divine Tao. If they could leverage Liu Mingyu's relationship with young Master Yi to connect with Zhuanshan Divine Tao, it would be immensely beneficial for Xingdu Academy's future in the southern wilderness. Both the Yushin Sword Leader and Red Sky Elder were also after this advantage. But in Fanshan's view, they were unworthy. Since you've seen through it, I won't hide it anymore. While I do have some personal motives for recruiting you, I genuinely recognize your talent. You have left your family, severing all cultivation resources. If you agree to join Xingdu Academy, I can promise you unlimited resources and secret techniques. And in the future, when you rise to prominence, Xingdu Academy will not restrict your development. Fanshan was laying all his cards on the table. His openness was very appealing to Liu Mingyu. Feeling the sincerity from Fanshan and Xingdu Academy, Liu Mingyu smiled faintly. Student greets the mentor. A mere peak 9-star martial king might provide some assistance to you at this stage. But to be your mentor, he falls short. Hearing the mysterious woman's grumbling from within the ring, Liu Mingyu smiled wryly. Her restored cultivation required a powerful force to rely on and grow. With Xingdu Academy's protection, the benefits outweighed the drawbacks for Liu Mingyu. This was why, despite the woman's harsh words, she tacitly approved of Liu Mingyu's decision. Afterward, Liu Mingyu gathered the things she needed to take from the Liu family. The Liu family had tried several times to intervene, but was intimidated by Fanshan's overwhelming presence. As Liu Mingyu left Mu Yun City with the powerful figures from Xingdu Academy, the martial artists who had been suppressed by the Liu family for years, erupted in celebration. Ha ha ha! Liu by gang. Your Liu family has taken advantage of the engagement with the Yi family to monopolize benefits in Mu Yun City for years. Now it's time to pay back. The guilty will meet their end. Your arrogance in Mu Yun City will be your sorrow today. With so many martial families in Mu Yun City uniting against the Liu family, its destruction was inevitable. Meanwhile, in the southern wilderness at the Zhuanshan Sect, gain favor from Liu Mingyu. Destiny points +7, +11. Feeling my little wife's continuously rising favor, I felt like I had wasted the past 18 years of my reincarnation. There was a fragrant and delicious opportunity right before me, and I didn't know how to cherish it. Fortunately, I didn't wait until it was too late to regret. It seems my insights truly resonated with her, giving me an enormous boost in destiny points. Looking at the previously depleted destiny points from my 3 consecutive draws, they had now been refilled, reaching an astonishing 400 points. From 4 draws, I had obtained to great Tao fruits. 1 thank you for your participation and 1 blank. My current divine bone transformation has barely reached about 10%. I directly absorbed the power of a great Tao fruit. My recently attained martial ancestor realm began to rise visibly. In the blink of an eye, I crossed 3 minor realms to reach a 3-star martial ancestor. The key is that this enhancement was not just in the martial realm, but also in my divine bone. This single great Tao fruit pushed my divine bone transformation to 30%. In a real fight, even a 9-star martial ancestor might not be my match. Just as I was reveling in the improvements to my divine bone and realm, a sudden thunderclap sounded above. What's going on? How can there be a thunder tribulation within the sect? Could it be that a sect elder is breaking through? Zhuanshan sect disciples were all drawn to the thunderclouds gathering overhead. What a terrifying thunder tribulation. Its power has increased dozens of times in just 3 breaths. The sect master and elders of Zhuanshan sect frowned, judging by the direction of the thunderclouds. It's coming from the Listening Tide Pavilion. The sect master's face changed slightly. The Listening Tide Pavilion is a 6th grade cave heaven. Only personal disciples of the Zhuanshan sect are eligible to reside there. Could it be that his divine bone has transformed again? Elder Zhuanshan's eyes twitched. That quickly, Elder Zhuanyu was full of doubt. Normally, once the divine bone awakens, it wouldn't transform again so soon. The sect master looked serious, as if he had thought of something. Indeed, a god-initiated being's divine bone wouldn't normally transform so quickly. But there is one exception, and that's a true god reincarnation. Every 10,000 years in the 6 wilderness regions, a true god descends to the world. These reincarnated true gods can easily awaken their divine bones, and their divine bone transformations far surpass those of ordinary god-initiated beings. It is said that Xiao, the divine maiden of the Zhuanshan divine Tao, is a reincarnation of a true god. At a young age, she has already awakened her complete divine bone, becoming a Saint Realm expert. The sect master felt a sense of awe. A Saint Realm expert can establish a sect even in the central spirit realm, and this divine maiden Xiao is only 19 years old. Even the Tao master of the Zhuanshan divine Tao is full of praise for divine maiden Xiao's talent. Just as the sect master and the elders were puzzled, a giant hand rose from the Listening Tide Pavilion, shattering the thunderclouds completely. The sect master's eyelid twitched slightly, controlling the heavens and the earth. The power of a martial king. This is the divine might of the condensed divine bone. It seems the true god of the Yi family from back then was immensely powerful. At that moment, in the Forbiddance area behind the Zhuanshan sect, flames erupted into the sky. Ha ha ha! After 6,000 years, I have finally found a god-initiated being. It's Firecloud Patriarch. Wasn't he dead for 6,000 years? Why has he suddenly appeared today? Hearing the elders' confused murmurs, the sect master gently shook his head. This is not the true body of Firecloud Patriarch, but a remnant thought he left in the world. The sect master's gaze shifted between the Firecloud Patriarch and the Listening Tide Pavilion, a look of contemplation on his face. At that moment, the Firecloud Patriarch arrived at the Listening Tide Pavilion and stared at me. Your divine bone has surpassed 20% activation. Quite impressive for someone so young. I am Firecloud Patriarch. Would you like to cultivate my heavenly fire Tao? Seeing this, many Zhuanshan sect disciples were trembling with excitement, their envy towards me reaching its peak. Even the sect master and the elders of Zhuanshan sect had eyes burning with desire. I hadn't expected that consuming a great Tao fruit would not only attract a thunder tribulation, but also awaken the remnant thought of a powerful figure from 6,000 years ago. Heavenly Fire Tao sounded incredibly impressive. I was about to accept the inheritance when the golden sphere of destiny points within me suddenly felt hot. What's going on? The destiny points seemed unwilling to accept the Firecloud Patriarch's inheritance. My eyes flickered slightly as I spoke. Disciple's talent is still shallow. Merely activating the divine bone has consumed much of my energy. I truly have no strength left to inherit the heavenly fire Tao. I asked the Patriarch to find another worthy candidate within the sect. What? Senior brother actually refused the Firecloud Patriarch's inheritance? That's the heavenly fire Tao, a power close to that of a true god. Is senior brother out of his mind from cultivation? How could he reject such a powerful inheritance? Compared to the shocked Zhuanshan sect disciples, Elder Zhuanjin and the other sect elders were equally stunned. Each one of them was dumbfounded. To them, inheriting the patriarch's heavenly fire Tao was an unparalleled opportunity, a great blessing even for the entire Zhuanshan sect. Firecloud Patriarch was also taken aback. Comprehending my heavenly fire Tao can bring your strength close to that of a true god. Are you sure you don't want to inherit it? I am sure, I replied firmly. Previously, I had refused due to the golden sphere within me showing resistance. Now, I was certain that there was something off about this Firecloud Patriarch, a 6,000-year-old being suddenly appearing to offer an inheritance. Even after my refusal, he was persistent, which was definitely suspicious. My repeated refusal caused Firecloud Patriarch's face to twitch slightly. After 6,000 years of waiting, he was nearly out of the last bit of energy left in his remnant thought. If he couldn't seize this opportunity to take over this young man's body, he would truly vanish from existence. Forcibly taking over might harm the divine bone, but with 20% of the divine bone already activated, even if damaged, it could be slowly restored back to peak condition. The Firecloud Patriarch transformed into a heavenly fire seal. I felt a sharp pain deep in my soul. Then the Patriarch's voice echoed in my mind. I tried to reason with you, but you distanced yourself from me. Enough with the pretense. I am here to seize your body and rebuild the great Tao using your divine bone. The scene where the Firecloud Patriarch had attempted to pass on the heavenly fire Tao had been witnessed by many disciples, including the sect master and elders. Even if the Patriarch forcibly took over, he could claim I had simply inherited the heavenly fire Tao, and then continue to cultivate within Zhuanshan sect using my identity. Just as the Firecloud Patriarch was feeling pleased, a golden radiance suddenly enveloped him. The Patriarch realized he was trapped inside a strange sphere. What's going on? Where is this place? Feeling his remnant being rapidly refined, Firecloud Patriarch displayed fear for the first time. Before he could react again, my voice rang out. So it was an attempt to seize my body. My tone was cold. I never expected the destiny points to have such a miraculous function, warning me of danger in advance. And the golden sphere formed from the destiny points seemed to be a very powerful artifact, not only capable of warnings and draws, but also suppressing and refining any malicious entities within my body at critical moments. No, I wasn't trying to take over your body. Listen to me. Firecloud Patriarch tried to argue, but I had no patience left for his excuses. In the next moment, the golden sphere completely refined the Firecloud Patriarch. Destiny points plus 200. Refining malicious entities can convert them into destiny points. I was utterly shocked. This golden finger is incredible. Senior brother, a disciple approached. The sect master and the elders have instructed me to inform you that you no longer need to reside in the Listening Tide Pavilion. You can move directly to the Zhuan Shaoyang Cave Heaven for your cultivation. Because of the Firecloud Patriarch incident, there was quite a stir within the Zhuanshan sect. I didn't mention the body-snatching attempt to anyone, only stating that Firecloud Patriarch had a deep appreciation for talent. Despite my refusal, he insisted on passing on his Tao. Isn't that being overly eager? Even he contributed to my experience points. If only I could be targeted for possession every day. I packed up briefly and followed the disciple who had come to guide me to the Zhuan Shaoyang Cave Heaven. The blessed lands of the Zhuanshan sect are divided into 9 grades. Ordinary disciples are only eligible to enter the first grade cave heavens for cultivation. Inner disciples with better talent can enter the second, third, and fourth grades based on their abilities. The 5th and 6th grades are reserved for personal disciples. The 7th grade is for elders. The Zhuan Shaoyang Cave Heaven is reserved for the successors of the sect master, only slightly inferior to the 9 Zhuan Purple Mansion Cave Heaven used by the sect master. Even before the life and death trial has begun, the sect master has already allowed me to cultivate in the Zhuan Shaoyang Cave Heaven. The disciple who guided me looked at me with respect and envy all the way. This is the life template many dream of. On the way to the Zhuan Shaoyang Cave Heaven, I made a detour to the burial ground of the past patriarchs of the Zhuanshan sect. I wandered around there for a while, but did not encounter another possession attempt like Firecloud Patriarch. It seems that such troublesome entities are rare. A hint of disappointment flickered in my eyes. However, this scene fell into the eyes of the guiding disciple, inspiring great respect. Senior brother just accepted the heavenly Fire Dao inheritance, and yet he is so eager to pay respects to the burial grounds of the past patriarchs. His reverence for his teachers and the Tao is truly a model for us younger disciples. Arriving at the Zhuan Shaoyang Cave Heaven, I quickly felt the overwhelming spiritual energy of the place. The sect master's move was undoubtedly an effort to win me over, but as a genius, I had long been accustomed to such gestures. In the following days, I focused on consolidating my cultivation and writing letters to my little wife, Liu Mingyu. Learning that Liu Mingyu had been accepted by Xingdu Academy, I couldn't help but feel a wave of emotion. Just a few days ago, she was a despised and overlooked waste girl. Yet in the blink of an eye, she had become the personal disciple of Fanshan, one of the top 3 mentors at Xingdu Academy. I knew this Fanshan well, a peak 9-star martial king, with half a foot already in the martial emperor realm. For Liu Mingyu to become his personal disciple, her status at Xingdu Academy was no less than my status as a personal disciple at Zhuanshan Sect. Indeed, comparing oneself to others can be frustrating. It took me 18 years to rise from obscurity to prominence, but under the protagonist halo, Liu Mingyu only needed a few days to enter one of the top powers in the southern wilderness. According to the usual plot, I wouldn't even know what Liu Mingyu looked like before being forced into a breakup by my family. At Liu Mingyu's rapid rise, within 3 years, I'd be beaten miserably without even meeting her. 18 years of effort turned into the protagonist's stepping stone. Realizing my scripted fate was such a tragic life, I almost wanted to slap the author myself. Fortunately, I am a transmigrator and managed to avoid the typical fate of a face-slapped villain. Now that I've awakened my golden finger, the villain's fate has finally reversed. But I still can't give up on the Liu Mingyu line. After all, my little wife is the main source of my destiny points. In this fantasy world, strength reigns supreme. Now that I've awakened the divine bone, it's inevitable that I'll have to enter the central spirit realm and compete with the geniuses and prodigies there. Thinking of this, my gaze quickly focused on the 10 consecutive draws option. It requires 1,000 destiny points for a single draw. Half a month passed in a flash, and during this time, I finally accumulated enough for a 10 draw. Senior brother, the sect master and elders are already waiting at the entrance of the trial's secret realm. At that moment, a disciple arrived at the entrance of the Zhuan Shaoyang Cave Heaven to deliver a message. Although I hadn't yet passed the life and death trial, many disciples in Zhuanshan Sect who wanted to curry favor were already addressing me with the honorific title of Young Sect Master. I neither opposed nor encouraged this. The life and death trial was merely a formality for me. Soon, I arrived at the trial's secret realm in the back mountain of Zhuanshan Sect. This area is normally closed to the public, but today, for the occasion of my life and death trial, almost all the disciples of Zhuanshan Sect had gathered here. Not only that, but the elders and the sect master were also seated solemnly on the platform above the trial's secret realm. Young sect master, mighty and strong, someone shouted from the crowd, and a thunderous chorus of voices followed. Young sect master, so handsome. Long live the young sect master. The cheers from the Zhuanshan sect disciples below were acknowledged by the sect master and the elders on the platform above. None of the elders showed any intention of stopping the cheers. To them, my identity as a god-initiated being fully justified the title of Young Sect Master. The sect master slowly stood up from the platform, about to announce the rules and begin the trial. Suddenly, a piercing sword hum cut through the sky, followed by a massive sword shadow descending from above. It's Zhang Qing. He's back. Many of the older members of Zhuanshan Sect recognized him. Zhang Qing. He was the sword prodigy who became a personal disciple. 15 years before I did, it is said that at Zhang Qing's birth, the ancient swords of the Zhang family rang out, their hum resounding for 10 days and nights. Afterward, the Zhang family bore a son, a natural sword body taken in by Zhuanchen sect. In just 3 years, he entered the Tao through the sword with a clear sword heart. No wonder he is known as a killing machine among martial artists. Under the intense pressure of his sword intent, the disciples of Zhuanchen sect below felt their back hairs stand on end. Cold sweat uncontrollably dripped down their cheeks. He has actually reached the level of 9 stars martial ancestor. The sect master and the elders were even more startled when Zhang Qing left Zhuanchen sect. I had not yet joined the sect. At that time, the sect had high hopes for him. Unfortunately, the path of sword cultivation is inherently difficult, and Zhang Qing struggled to make breakthroughs. Entering the realm of martial ancestor at 9 stars from grand martial artist, he had no choice but to choose to leave, venturing outside the sect in search of opportunities. It's unexpected that after many years of wandering, Zhang Qing has grown to this extent, known as a killing machine among sword cultivators. His 9 stars martial ancestor cultivation is sufficient to rival martial kings, having been absent from the sect for many years. It's unexpected that Zhuanchen sect has produced a god-initiated person. Zhang Qing's gaze was cold as he spoke. Ha ha ha! Zhang Qing, it's been many years since we last met. Suddenly, a muscular man appeared above the Zhuanchen sect. It was Z-Man of the ancient barbaric body. Z-Man has returned. Z-Man became a personal disciple of the Zhuanchen sect 3 years before Zhang Qing. He left the sect even earlier. My heavens! These 2 personal disciples, who had been missing for many years, why are they returning to the sect on the same day? The disciples of Zhuanchen sect were filled with astonishment. Z-Man, you're back! Facing the wild, brutish Z-Man, who looked like a barbarian, Zhang Qing's usually cold demeanor showed a hint of emotion. Today is the grand day for the life and death trial to select the young sect master. How could it possibly be without me, Z-Man? Zhang Qing laughed. The divine decree of the Zhuanchen divine Tao has long been spread like wildfire throughout the 4 great wild domains. Neither Z-Man nor Zhang Qing wanted to miss this chance to advance in the Zhuanchen divine Tao. I stood calmly in place. Although the 2 of them were strong, as the chosen one, I was equally imposing. The sect master hadn't expected that today's trial would start as such a fierce battlefield between dragons and tigers. To personal disciples who had traveled for years, returned at the same time. Moreover, their strength had both reached the 9-star martial sect level. Just then, a sudden gust of wind appeared, followed by lightning and thunder across the sky. A terrifying dragon roar came from the thunderclouds. Upon hearing this dragon roar, Z-Man took a step back, showing a look of fear. Even the sharp sword intent surrounding Zhang Qing shattered slightly under the dragon's roar. Who dares to be reckless in my Zhuanchen sect? Elder Zhuan Jin stepped forward and shouted. Elder Zhuan Jin, long time no see. The next moment, a faint voice came from the clouds. This voice seemed calm yet carried immense pressure, as if the heavens and earth would bow before him. As the voice fell, a young man in red robes descended from the sky, riding a black dragon. You are Hua Yanin? Elder Zhuan Jin recognized him. His eyes filled with 3 parts astonishment and 7 parts shock. The sect master's gaze also trembled lightly, his eyes shining with incredulous light. Wasn't Hua Yanin missing for 100 years? The elders present had faces that changed continuously, as Hua Yanin had been the most talented personal disciple of the Zhuanchen sect a century ago. His rise to power was unmatched, even by the combined might of Zhang Qing and Z-Man. It really is Hua Yanin, an inner disciple with white hair and beard, was filled with disbelief. Senior Brother Chen, you know him? Hearing the younger disciples ask from the crowd, Senior Brother Chen, with his white hair and beard, sighed deeply. Your time in the Zhuanchen sect has been too short. It's normal not to know Hua Yanin. 100 years ago, among our generation of disciples, his brilliance was unmatched. Even the current young sect master pales in comparison. Just like the inheritance of ancestor Yun, Hua Yanin alone received 3 parts of it. What? One person received 3 parts of the inheritance. The disciples of Zhuangxin sect were all shocked. At this moment, the terrifying aura of Hua Yanin was fully released along with the Black Dragon, Master of Heaven and Earth. At the martial king level, the elders' hearts shook again. Hua Yanin's cultivation was exceedingly powerful even among martial kings. The key was the Black Dragon under his feet, which turned out to be the remnant soul of a true dragon. The sect master recognized it at a glance. A true dragon is a divine beast. Even its remnant soul is far beyond what an ordinary king-level martial artist can control. Hua Yanin's ability to command the true dragon's remnant soul indicated that he had some other fortuitous encounters. The position of young sect master is mine, Hua Yanin declared. With one step, Hua Yanin pushed Z-Man and Zhongxing far back. A 6-star martial king. This again elicited exclamations of amazement from the disciples. The sect master's eyes shifted between Hua Yanin, me, and the other 2. All of us are personal disciples. So even the sect master couldn't refuse Hua Yanin's participation in the life and death trial. Moreover, what Hua Yanin displayed was no less impressive than mine as the chosen one. His power and cultivation even gave him an overwhelming advantage over me. After a long pause, the sect master said, "You should all know the rules of the life and death trial. Whoever will be the young sect master of Zhuangxin sect will be determined by the opportunities gained in the trial." Hearing this, Hua Yanin smiled faintly. If it weren't for being trapped in the secret realm all these years, his strength would have likely already reached the martial emperor level. Although his power had been suppressed, his understanding of the great Tao of heaven and earth over these years far surpassed these fledglings. As the strongest personal disciple of Zhuangxin sect from a century ago, Hua Yanin carried his own pride. He glanced in my direction. As the chosen one, so what? Then the elders of Zhuangxin sect joined forces to open the entrance to the life and death trial. Zhongqing and Z-Man looked at each other, then took the first step inside. Hua Yanin followed closely behind. I was the last to enter, completely at ease throughout the process, as if I were entering not a trial, but something entirely different, as if entering a tourist attraction rather than a secret realm. After entering the secret realm, Hua Yanin glanced in my direction, immediately captivated by my strange actions. What is he doing? Z-Man frowned. Zhongqing's reaction was similar to theirs. The stone statue in front of me had already been examined by them when they first passed through the entrance. There was nothing mysterious about it. It was just an ordinary stone statue at the entrance of the trial's secret realm. He's just pretending to be mysterious. Hua Yanin sneered with disdain. He had been trapped in ancient secret realms for so many years. His sensitivity to various restrictive energies far surpassed the ordinary. Just as the 3 of them were about to leave with cold smiles in their hearts, a burst of golden light suddenly erupted from my body. His divine bones are transforming. Zhongqing and the other 2's expressions changed simultaneously. Could it be that this seemingly ordinary stone statue hid an enormous opportunity? Hua Yanin's face darkened slightly. In the blink of an eye, my divine bones had already transformed by 30%. Even my original 3-star martial sect strength instantly surged to 6 stars. After a few moments of changing expressions, Hua Yanin decisively turned to leave. To kill someone, one doesn't necessarily need to lead the charge. Just wait. He may have taken a step ahead in the trial, but he can't stay ahead forever. Zhongqing and Z-Man were in a similar situation. Seeing all 3 of them turn to leave, I smiled faintly. From their earlier glances, it was clear. They wanted to get rid of me. It seems it's time for a bit of a gamble, just as Hua Yanin and the others sensed earlier. The stone statue before me indeed held no mysteries. The transformation of my divine bones was not due to any secret realm opportunity. It was entirely due to the effect of consuming the Grand Dao fruit. Among the three of them, one is a sword cultivator, one has an ancient barbaric body, and one is a 6-star martial king. Each one is a cunning old fox. If I didn't showcase some strength before them, I would be the first one targeted. As the chosen one, I was already the weakest in cultivation among the four of us. In this situation, it would be easy to become the target. But now that I've consumed the Grand Dao fruit, my divine bones had transformed, reaching a 30% improvement. Now, my strength was enough to challenge the Martial King realm. They would have to think twice before confronting me. At the entrance of the secret realm, the disciples exclaimed in amazement, "Senior brother never disappoints." He had just entered the life and death trial and already gained such a significant opportunity. Senior brother? He is the future young sect master of Archwanshan sect. Within the secret realm, as I advanced deeper, I silently activated the lottery pointer on the golden orb. With anticipation, I prepared for a 10 draw. When a wild roar suddenly echoed from the front, countless dark shadows swarmed out from the depths of the trial's secret realm. The disciples of Xuanshan sect turned pale at the sight. How could there be so many demonic creatures in the trial's secret realm? Demonic creatures were not native to the 6 great wilderness domains. It was said that in ancient times, a black star descended upon the world, and wherever it passed, demonic energy spread and corrupted everything. Demonic creatures were born from this corrupting demonic energy. Anyone touched by the demonic energy, whether martial artist or beast, would be transformed into a mindless, bloodthirsty monster. High-level demonic creatures could even battle with Saint Realm experts, and some demon gods were said to be comparable to true gods. However, in the current 6 great wilderness domains, demonic creatures were rarely seen. Seeing the demonic creatures approaching, Hua Yanin took the lead. He stomped the ground, and the black dragon within him soared into the sky, turning the surrounding demonic creatures to ashes as it passed. Not to be outdone, Z-Man's entire body glowed with inscriptions, his form expanding by dozens of feet in an instant. He shattered mountains with a single move. Zhangqing, stepping on his sword, flew across the sky for miles, sweeping towards the demonic creatures falling into the crevices. The three of them, when they took action, swept away most of the demonic creatures emerging from the depths of the secret realm. They were truly the personal disciples of Xuanshan sect. The disciples outside the secret realm were filled with awe and admiration. Meanwhile, I stood alone behind the three of them, showing no intention of joining the fight. What is the young sect master doing? My supporters in the crowd were bewildered. The 10 draw was reliable after all. I looked at the reward space where I had drawn -1 golden treasure boxes and 2 diamond treasure boxes. With a heart full of excitement, I silently marveled at my luck. The golden treasure boxes yielded to empty draws. 1 thank you for participating, 3 grand Dao fruits, and 2 colorful instant bones. As long as I had a breath left, consuming an instant pill would instantly restore me to full health. As for the 2 diamond treasure boxes, the rewards they contained were 2 skills. One was called Illusory Light Mirage, a near-perfect illusion technique, so flawless that even a true god couldn't distinguish between reality and illusion. The other was called Dragon's Cloud Hand. This skill was even more formidable, allowing the user to steal others' grand opportunities without any regard for the rules. I drew a sharp breath. Such heaven-defying skills were simply essential for any cunning treasure hunter in a secret realm. Looking again at Hua Yanin and the others who were leveling up by fighting monsters, a trace of pity rose in my eyes. What's the point of all your effort in fighting monsters? In the end, won't it all just benefit me? To me, Hua Yanin and the others seemed like walking experience points. The stronger their gains, the more excited I became. Sensing my gaze, Zhangqing's eyes flashed with disdain. What of being a chosen one? If you don't even have the courage to fight the demons, you're just a waste. Z-Man, who was tearing through demons, also sneered. How can such a person compete for the position of young sect master? Only Hua Yanin looked at me thoughtfully. Could it be that he's planning to reap the rewards after our hard work? Thinking of this, Hua Yanin snorted coldly. He's a dignified 6-star martial king and he won't let a martial sect benefit in his presence. If you can trick me, I'll call you father from now on. Just as they were slaughtering demons, the ground beneath them suddenly trembled. I am Enlan, the 4th ancestor of Zhuangchen sect. 10,000 years ago, I suppressed countless demons here. If a fated person encounters this, I shall pass on my legacy to protect the righteous path and defend all beings. It's actually Enlan, the 4th ancestor of Zhuangchen sect. The disciples outside the secret realm erupted in excitement. Enlan was the closest to becoming a true god among their generation of ancestors. His reputation was even greater than that of Hua Yanin ancestor. However, his greatest achievement was single-handedly suppressing the demons in most of the southern wilderness. It was because of the 4th ancestor's suppression of the demons that the southern wilderness had enjoyed over 10,000 years of peace and prosperity. But sadly, 10,000 years ago, during the Great War between righteousness and evil, Ancestor Enlan used his own power to suppress tens of thousands of demons and then disappeared without a trace. No one expected him to leave his legacy in the life and death secret realm. The Zhuangchen sect master squinted slightly, knowing that obtaining the 4th ancestor's legacy would be an incredible opportunity. He wondered which of the 4 would ultimately receive this inheritance. Inside the secret realm, Hua Yanin, Zhangqing, and Ziman were equally astonished, especially Hua Yanin, who, despite having received 3 inheritances comparable to the Great Fire Path before being trapped in the ancient secret realm, was awestruck by the presence of Zhuangchen sect's 4th ancestor, Enlan. Legend had it that Ancestor Enlan, in his early years, obtained half of an ancient secret treasure, the Central Wilderness Spiritual Domain. Such a secret treasure was a legacy left by a true god. Even possessing half of it would make one peerless in the world and able to dominate for ages. Thinking of this, Hua Yanin's heart burned even more with desire as he shouted, "I killed the most demons just now. If the 4th ancestor wants a successor, it must be me, Hua Yanin." His words immediately drew Ziman's ridicule. Ha ha ha! Killing more demons means you can get the ancestor's legacy? A true legacy requires a worthy mind and spirit. With such impatience, how can you bear the responsibility of defending all beings like the 4th ancestor? Zhangqing followed suit, stepping forward and saying, "In terms of mindset, as a sword cultivator, I am unmatched." None of the 3 were willing to back down, each believing they were the best candidate to inherit the 4th ancestor's legacy. Enough talk. If you want the legacy, show your strength. Hua Yanin stomped the ground and his black dragon soared into the sky. Do you think being a martial king makes you invincible? Ziman's runes flashed, and in an instant, they formed a set of pitch-black armor around him. During my years of traveling, I've killed martial kings before. With a clear sword ring, the mysterious iron sword in Zhangqing's hand, it was finally unsheathed. Faced with Hua Yanin, a 6-star martial king, Zhangqing and Ziman decided to join forces. Ha ha ha! Our chances are better with 2 against 1. Laughing wildly, Ziman glanced at me in the distance. Want to join us? Forget it. He continued. This waste doesn't seem interested in competing for the legacy anyway. Zhangqing glanced in my direction and said, "Fine. Since you don't want the legacy, get lost as soon as possible, lest you get caught in the fight and end up dead." In Ziman's view, he and Zhangqing joining forces was enough to counterbalance Hua Yanin. This is infuriating. How can they talk about senior brother like that? Outside the secret realm, my supporters heard Zhangqing and Ziman's humiliation, their faces red with anger. But my expression remained calm as I slowly walked to a distant, smooth stone slab and sat down. This spot was perfect for watching the battle, I said, leisurely taking out a Dao fruit from my reward space. What 4th ancestor and land's legacy? What defending all beings and upholding the righteous path? It's all fake. It was all an illusion created by my floating light illusion technique. I originally just wanted to test the skill's effectiveness, never expecting it to fool even those outside the secret realm. At this moment, sitting on the stone slab, I watched the show while eating the fruit. Brother, what are you eating? It looks delicious. Dao fruit. Want one? I instinctively replied, but then froze. Where did that crisp little girl's voice come from? I quickly turned around and saw a little girl in black clothes, staring eagerly at the Dao fruit in my hand. I felt the hair on my back stand up. When I took out the Dao fruit, I had already covered the area with a layer of illusion from the floating light technique. Even the sect master and elders outside the secret realm could only see me sitting quietly on the stone slab. How could this little girl see the Dao fruit in my hand? This illusion was supposed to be undetectable even by true gods. Could it be that this little girl was more powerful than a true god? Thinking this, I couldn't help but take a deep breath. Really, thank you, big brother. The little girl hesitated for a moment, but after swallowing several times, she couldn't resist anymore. She reached out with her small hands, taking the fruit from my hand and quickly biting into it. As she ate, she smiled sweetly at me, her eyes twinkling with delight. Yummy, this is the best fruit I've ever tasted. He took the large fruit from my hand and began to eat it with relish. That was the one I had already bitten into. I was about to say something more, but seeing the little girl eat so hungrily, my half-raised hand fell back. Oh well, I should probably figure out first what exactly she is. It smells so good, tastes so sweet, is so delicious. Watching the little girl sitting there, lost in her ecstatic enjoyment, I suddenly felt a headache coming on. This little girl is clearly no ordinary being. Sister, she said, having finished. The little girl looked up at me with pleading eyes, as if wanting another. There aren't any more, I said awkwardly. Joke's on her, that was a grand Dao fruit. I only have 3 of them on me. She's already eaten one of my grand Dao fruits. You ate my brother's food. Can you answer a few questions for me? After much deliberation, I finally mustered the courage to ask. This little girl's origins are truly mysterious. No matter how long I looked, I couldn't make heads or tails of it. Go ahead and ask, brother. The little girl's response was surprisingly docile. Why are you here? Hearing my question, the little girl blinked her eyes twice. I was born right here, born in the profound immortal realm. Could she be the illegitimate child of some great cultivator from the mysterious Heaven Sect? But as soon as that thought crossed my mind, I dismissed it. Even all the great cultivators of the mysterious Heaven Sect combined wouldn't be a match for this little girl. Brother, can you help me remove this thing? It's so itchy where it's stuck on my back. At this moment, the little girl turned around and pointed to a tattered talisman behind her. I approached upon hearing this. And when I saw the talisman clearly, I was struck as if by thunder, my mind going completely blank. This was the demon subduing talisman, about the deeds of the 4th patriarch, Enlan, in subduing demons and protecting the Tao. I had also discovered this in a secret record of the mysterious Heaven Sect. However, at the time when I was viewing this secret record, I also discovered another piece of esoteric information. The great war between righteous and demonic forces did not only engulf the southern wasteland realm, but the entire 6 wasteland realms except for the long-vanished upper star realm. The remaining 4 major wasteland realms, east, south, west, and north, were all invaded by demonic forces. Even the central spiritual realm was not spared. Seeing the dire situation, the various major divine sects and holy teachings in the central spiritual realm banded together. And it was only through their joint efforts that they were able to forcibly seal that mysterious black star, which had triggered the great war between righteous and demonic forces. As for how they had initially joined forces to seal the black star,